on the air in just seconds. We got a lot to cover, of course. And I just came back from Trump Force One. Oh boy. Here we go. If you're new to my channel, this is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. Here we go.
Is a Carpus Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
All right, yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve King Show. Indeed, you are. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. We have a lot to cover. If you're new to the program, this is where MAGA comes to talk. This is the most pro-Donald Trump MAGA place on the planet. And just a few minutes ago, on my way to the radio station this morning, I stopped off at the airport to check out Trump Force One. And I did it because they're arresting the president again on Thursday in Fulton County, Georgia, which is just this is disgusting. It's very upsetting. And these commentators on TV that's like, oh, it's becoming the new normal. It is not the new normal. And it's frightening. And I don't think it's frightening just to me. I think it's frightening to tens of millions of Americans who were not even Trump supporters before. When they see what this insane, out-of-control, corrupt banana republic government is doing to a president of the United States, I think it scares people. People say to themselves, if they can do this to a man who's a 10 billion billionaire, who's president of the United States, what can they do to me? Well, you and I have no hope, all right? If they can do this to Donald Trump, we're done. We're done. And this one in Fulton County, Georgia, I'm glad it's happening on Thursday and not Friday, so that the news media are forced to deal with it with their main full-time anchors on Friday, processing the aftermath of it. So I was driving into the radio station this morning, just disgusted, listening to the news on the way in, listening to these newscasters, just like our guys at the top of it. They're so excited. Oh, Trump's getting arrested. Are you guys out of your mind? This is not Bolivia we're in. This is not Venezuela. This is the United States of America. Okay? In the United States, we don't arrest and imprison political opponents. This isn't Honduras, Guatemala, or any one of those third world dictatorships, narco governments and everything they got going on down there. This is America. Are you kidding me? So I stopped by just to get some inspiration. I stopped by at the airport. Trump Force One is home here in Palm Beach, even though the president's not here. He's in New Jersey. So Trump Force One will fly to New Jersey, pick up the president, fly him to Black Panther County, Georgia, that's what I call it, Fulton County, and then flying back to New Jersey. But it was nice to go down and see Trump Force One today. I had the plane all to myself. It's 5:30 in the morning when I'm there. There's no one there. The lights are off, and I did a live stream on YouTube, of course, so you can see my visit to Trump Force One this morning on my YouTube channel, guys, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. But it just give me a little inspiration, right? Feel a little connection of support to President Trump for what they're doing, not just to him, but to us and to our great country. And this is just twisted. It is sick. And, there are many problems with this. And one of them is that, everything that's done in American law is on legal precedent. So now that they've done this, 4 times it'll be on Thursday to President Trump. And by the way, to our black liberal listeners, can we get over this systemic racism nonsense now? You've got a black woman who's brought charges against a president of the United States who's white. We've got a black sheriff who's vowing to get a mugshot and fingerprint him. We've got a black prosecutor in New York that arrested him. So, I mean, come on, guys. Are we beyond the systemic racism now? Do you feel empowered? See, seems like you got some power there. Gee, enough of this systemic racism nonsense. Get a new act. But, everything is done by legal precedent in this country. And what'll happen, since it's happened to the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, it's going to happen again. And not just to Republicans. This will happen to Democrat presidents. And you know what? It shouldn't. I told you guys during the lock her up with Hillary, a lot of my MAGA brothers and sisters still give me grief over this. I said, we don't want to put first ladies and presidents in jail because they'll put Donald Trump in jail. And here we are. And that was before he was president. That was in the first campaign I predicted this. They're so excited. Some of these people on CNN, I don't even know their names. They got this one woman on during the day who's always miserable, never smiles. She always looks like she has hemorrhoid pain going on. And even she's smiling. They're practically high-fiving each other. And so Fox News, if you're on hold, stand by. I will take calls after the first break at 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. And I will take the calls in the order in which they were received. So if you're on hold, don't worry. Since it's early, I can keep track of who called in first because it's first call came in on line 1 at this point. So it goes right down the line. So I will take the calls in the order in which they were received after the first break. And you are all welcome to call to share your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions on what they're doing to our country, to our president, to us at 1-888-465-2631. And I also want to hear from some of our liberal black callers. Are we beyond systemic racism now? You got a black woman arresting a white president on Thursday. Okay? So I want to hear, are we beyond that now? Of course not, because then you'd have to start taking responsibility for things. But I think we can say we are beyond such things. Now, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous what's going on. It's ridiculous. But this will happen to other presidents. This is what's going on right now with this out-of-control, outlaw government that we have. Now in Fulton County, it's at the local level, but even at the federal government with the Justice Department and what they've done. This is one of the biggest transformations of the American way of governing, the American way of government, since we've had our Constitution. It's true. Because there's a new president now. Oh, well, you got a leader and he's leading and we don't like him? Let's arrest him. Is that the country you want to live in? He hasn't even done any crimes. Oh, he said that. It's called free speech. First Amendment. I know liberals don't like free speech. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our first break of the day. Come back with your calls and more. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. We'll be back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action.
It's disgusting. It's just outrageous. Never seen anything like it. I mean, you know, and these people in the news. You know, I think millions of people who in the past were not Trump supporters, were not MAGA, are so scared at what the government's doing that even they're becoming MAGA now. Right? I mean, Exactly. If they can do this to a president, what can they do to a regular person? Right? What can they do to a regular person? But it did lift me up seeing Trump Force One this morning, I must say. We're coming back shortly. About 1 minute. No. Yeah. I know. I mean, you've got people that have been in jail for over 2 years without trial. What happened to the right to speak? They're treating them like they're ISIS or Al Qaeda. You know, their due process rights have been violated. It is disgusting. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. Yeah, and it's not a good thing being a banana republic. I mean, what damage has been done worldwide? I mean, we're supposed to be the leader of the free world. The United States is the oldest democracy in the world. And then look at what's going on here. You've got the leader of the country, which is the senile, corrupt old coot, Joe Biden, arresting 4 times his political opponent because they can't beat him. Here we go.
Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Yes. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Our number 1 888 GO Kane 1. So Thursday, they're arresting the president for the 4th time. This time he's even got to make bail. Can you believe he's a flight? $200,000. That's like pocket change to President Trump. Now, the date is getting closer and closer. April 27th. This is our 5th annual listener cruise. Each year we take a cruise, Steve and I, with our listeners. This is our 5th one. We're going to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. This is our largest group by far than any of our other groups. We have a great MAGA group. We have listeners, of course, from here in South Florida, but we also have listeners that travel from all over America to go with us on these cruises. In fact, we have people coming internationally from out of the country that follow this program that are coming with us on this one as well. It is a great MAGA family that grows and grows and grows. We have a great time on these cruises, and we have shore excursions at every port. I'm with you on all the shore excursions. We have dinner together every night. We have lunches together. We go to the Broadway shows and concerts together. We have onboard activities together, and we just have a great group. And this is our largest group yet, so we're actually bringing help along on this one to help us. Usually it's just kind of like me and Ian, our travel agent, his wife, and my daughter. We kind of do. But now the group's too big, so we're actually bringing people on this one to help us with the group. It's so big, and I'm excited about it. It's a great time. It's my yearly vacation, and you are all invited, okay? Except Liberal Al, of course. He's not invited. So call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Make your reservations. There's some great deals going on here during the summertime, which will be over before you know it, okay? And this ship is filling up. Oh, did I tell you we're going on the Celebrity Beyond, which is the flagship of Celebrity Cruise Lines, okay? 561-244-5779. That's the number for Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, the travel agent who handles all of our cruises. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie, the bus driver, yes.
How How are you doing, Brian? And how's Cassie?
Yeah, she's doing better. She's been home since Saturday, but she's still recovering.
Okay, I'm glad. And, all right, here's the deal. This country's already been destroyed by Democrats, and it'll never be the same again. Unfortunately, we are in a banana republic. The founding fathers of this country had a political solution for corrupt presidents or whatever, and that was impeachment. So the Democrats actually tried to frame from the very beginning, frame him for something he didn't do, and they tried to impeach him twice. So they already destroyed that part of it. Now he's out of office, and they're going after him. And this is so disgusting because any president, including Biden, who's in office, I don't believe you should throw him in jail, but you should impeach him, you should throw him out. But they'll stick together and they won't throw him out for his corruption. But that's the deal with presidents. And if you don't have that situation, you don't have a president of the United States.
Well, listen, the Democrat Party, the Democrat Party, they're terrible people. They used to enslave black people, all right? Yeah. The Democrats, they put Americans of Japanese descent, Democrats put them in concentration camps during the Second World War. Democrats used to lynch black people, okay? So, and I left out a big one. They launched an insurrection against the United States government, commonly known as the Civil War, where 500,000 Americans were killed because of the Democrat insurrection. Okay, so, these are low. Oh, and I left out the Democrats did medical experiments on black people. You've heard of the Tuskegee experiments, and there's much more. The Democrats have a long history of being low-life people of low moral character who do terrible things.
We have the most recent that you left out. Hawaii. They're giving American citizens $700 for a family that lost their house and probably their children.
That's right. And yeah, and how many names are on that Vietnam memorial wall, Richie, as a Vietnam veteran?
58,000.
58,000 plus Americans dead in Vietnam because of the Democrats and their lie with the military-industrial complex. So if you look throughout American history, from this moment in time, going back every second until our founding, pretty much, except there's one exception, that's the WMD lie. That's the exception to the rule. If you look at everything that this country has ever done wrong, or that liberals say we should apologize for or be ashamed of, it's something brought to you by the Democrat Party, okay? Every stain on this country has been brought to you by the Democrat Party. So this is just what they do. They're scum.
Now I'm going to make an attack on militant black Americans. I'm not making an attack on the black population. I'm talking about the militants, the white haters, okay? You have a corrupt person down in Atlanta, Georgia, and a sheriff that are going to indict this. They're going to put this president in handcuffs, and they're going to mugshot him, and they're going to put him in front of the filthy jailhouse, not the courthouse. They're putting him in the filthy jailhouse and treat him like a low-life scum. And I got to tell you something. I hope that T-shirt comes out the next day with a big thing. I wish they put him in a jumpsuit with handcuffs, and I would say somebody should charge $100 a shirt, and give half of that to his campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I want to tell you guys, I was talking, Richie, at the top. We've got a black woman and a black man, that's the sheriff, in Fulton County, Georgia. They're going to arrest, book, and mugshot our President Trump. Are we beyond this systemic racism? It seems like blacks are pretty empowered.
No, we're not beyond it because they always call us racist because the Democrats, what they tell us we are, that's what they are. They are literally racist. They're black racists trying to throw a white president in jail. This is so...
Well, Fannie Willis believes all white people should be in jail. You understand that, right?
The racist, and the judge does also.
Oh, gosh.
And the jury that's in Washington.
Oh, yes.
It's all the same. I don't know if you saw that thing, what happened in front of Trump Tower the other day.
Mm-hmm. I did.
We're fighting against these animals in the streets, and all in black, and they're mostly white militant Antifa President.
That's right.
This is the Democratic arm.
It's. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. This arrest and booking of President Trump on Thursday is it's a very bad time. But I'll tell you this: he comes back as our president in 2024. Think about all the BS he's had to go through to get there.
This is over the top, though.
Oh.
Handcuffs and
Have they said they're going to be able to put him in handcuffs? Come on.
that's what I understand.
That's that?
Like no other, like everyone else.
You know, I'm worried about this. See, in the other instances, New York was a little different, but in these two federal instances, you know, the Secret Service were there, and they're federal agents, and they were dealing with fellow federal people. Okay, so there's some This is Black Panther County, Georgia, that Fulton County. This is they have home field advantage. The Secret Service are going to be outnumbered, and these are some angry people. I've seen the sheriff. The sheriff there is nasty. His whole life is around this mugshot.
Let me say something to you. Jack Ruby.
No. We're not going that way. It's just okay. Callers on hold, stand by. We got to take our break and allow the delay to build back up because of Richie. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're calling from. And remember, if you ever miss a part of a show or a show, our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com, is the place to go, because each day, about an hour after we go off the air, Mike, our board op, uploads the entire show to trueoldiesfla.com as a podcast, and it's in perfect studio quality sound. Maybe you called in and you want to hear your call or save your call. You can download the show too, and the shows are archived up there forever. trueoldiesfla.com, trueoldiesfla.com. All right, check us out, and you can never miss an episode of the Steve Kane Show right there. Okay, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. And we're going to continue with this because this is a real sad day in America. Has America fallen? Maybe it has. Or maybe it's on the verge. Maybe we're just hanging in there. We'll talk about that and much more right after this.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
From the Palm Beach patio furniture.
Where am I?
Luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. Pretty great weather for South Florida considering the time of the year. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s and watch it be a little drier with just a slight isolated storm. We have more Sahara and
If you're new to my channel, subscribe. Everyone, please like the video. Liking the video helps get my video, this video and my other videos recommended to people who have not yet found my channel. And, of course, everyone, if you can, you should wear your MAGA hats in support of President Trump. Right? Get your MAGA hats out and wear them and show your support for President Trump. This is my favorite MAGA hat that I have. I've got a bunch of them. But this is the one that President Trump has seen more times than any. He's seen all my Make America Great Again hats. But this one he's seen, I don't know, maybe 10 times. So with his own eyes, up close. So I always feel smarter when I'm wearing this one. I feel like Trump's vision on this hat about a dozen times or so has, you know, his wisdom's rubbed off on it a little bit. I call this the MAGA hat of wisdom. This is the one on our catamaran trip on the last cruise, blew off my head, and me and some of the other listeners, we jumped and saved it before it went into the ocean. I got a picture of that on my Instagram. I'm laying on the deck of the catamaran. This is not one I want to lose. Yeah, Trump Force One is awesome. I feel energized and inspired seeing it this morning. It's right down the street from here. It's amazing they keep it here in Florida even when he's not here. When you watch, I've got a few videos. I've made some good vlogs during the day of Trump Force One too. But where Trump Force One is parked is where they parked Air Force One in his first term. Yeah, that's right. It's like the wrestlers, right? They're fake enemies. Mm-hmm.
So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the
Okay.
first all these channel listeners to dial 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer, 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractor and best roofers in South Florida.
I tell you, Fox News is just, they're canceling themselves. Fox News doesn't want people watching them. I get this story.
New laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs, so you don't necessarily need to employ a public adjuster or a lawyer. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
What's the one thing that's never thought of when you don't have it,
Mm.
always on your mind when you do? I'll give you a hint.
Unreal.
Love, power, or money. Think of it yet? It's pain. And what type of pain creeps up for the majority of people on a regular basis? Foot pain. Just think about it. Everyone complains about their feet hurting, and no matter our age or physical condition, none of us are exempt from sore and achy feet at the end of a long day. Come to Noble Shoes and give your feet a break. Why settle for less when your feet deserve more? Our podorthists work with patients referred by physicians to help with foot pain and prevent foot pain from occurring. So if you're in need of shoes, come to Noble Shoes and let our 40 years of experience help you. We carry top brands like New Balance, Hoka, Brooks, SAS, Birkenstock, Dansko, and more. Don't forget our in-house shoe repair services.
Just reading over some of the stories I'm going to talk about as we go on.
842-7400, that's 842-7400. Stay mobile at Noble.
This is John from Lighthouse Medical Center, CFO and Director of Neuropathy. We want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th anniversary, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. If you have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues, please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them. And we look forward to doing that for the next 75 years. We don't just treat neuropathy at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have a specialized knee pain program with non-surgical solutions for bone-on-bone and knee pain issues. We also treat chronic back pain.
It's the last commercial. We'll be back.
Hip and shoulder pain. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Lisa in Texas.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, yeah, this is pretty sickening what's happening to President Trump. Also, Katie Hobbs has come out in Arizona saying that she may throw an indictment at him as well.
Yeah, I know. Bring it on. Yeah, bring it on. I mean, why don't we just indict him in every one of the 50 states? How about that? Since they're doing it.
Yeah, that's what they would love to do. And, you're talking about, if they can do this to him, what can they do to us? Well, they're already doing it to us, really. I feel like we're just in an illusion of a free country.
That's correct.
Yeah, because look what they've done to the people from J6. There are people
Mm-hmm.
who didn't even go in the White House that are in jail.
Well, here's the thing. This Long Island serial killer is going to be, in America, no matter what you're accused of, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This Long Island serial killer, the killer of the hookers, this is a disgusting person. He is getting his constitutional guarantees as an American, more so than these J6 prisoners. It's not about whether or not they were right or wrong. In America, everyone is entitled to, and they're treating these American citizens like they're ISIS or Al-Qaeda fighters. And that's why they're treating them this way.
Yeah, anybody who's connected to Trump, along with Trump himself, are guilty, and they have to prove their innocence. And that is what's so sickening. Even that man that was shot recently by the FBI. I mean, he hadn't even done that much. He had just.
Well, I don't want to know about that. I don't think we know a lot about that. I wouldn't jump in. Don't just jump in and defend people because you think they're MAGA. Okay, that's what Democrats do. But listen. What's going on here with President Trump being arrested, booked, released on bail in Fulton County? They're turning this country. Fulton County that's as corrupt as it gets to do something like that. And let me go through these. This is the latest South Carolina poll. Trump is at 48. The number 2 is DeSantis, 34 points behind at 14. They keep talking about Ramaswamy. Oh, he's the thing. And, Bill Maher. Oh, and you're not white. You're not white. Well, okay. Ramaswamy's at 6. Donald Trump is at 48. DeSantis at 14. Ramaswamy at 6. Do you think these poll numbers have something to do with the 4 arrests?
Oh, exactly. They're scared to death. And let me tell you, Newt Gingrich the other night, again, stated that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
That's right.
He made it plain as day. He will be the nominee, and what they're doing is the worst. This is just like the Civil War. This is as bad as what the Democrats in the Civil War.
Well, with the Democrats, I mean, listen, the Democrats have no moral compass. I mean, look at they never have. They never have. They've always been on the wrong side of every issue, the Democrats. Always. And I don't, Democrats are tyrants and love control over people. That's why they're bringing the COVID back. They're doing a test run to see if people will step in line, They love taking our freedoms away. And I just personally believe that Trump, who has the highest poll numbers of his entire career, I think it's because tens of millions of Americans that were not supporters of Donald Trump are either so outraged or so terrified at what these corrupt officials are doing to him that they're on the Trump train now, because they say to themselves, if they can do this to a president, what can they do to me?
Oh, he's got so many more fans now. I mean, even black people in Baltimore, young black men now, I saw this interview, and they are saying, we want Trump. He cares about us. These people care about us. And it was a wonderful thing to see. I think there's going to be, it's going to be hard for them to cheat this time, because there's going to be so many people voting for Trump this time.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wonderful thing to watch. But in the meantime, it is painful to see our freedoms just being taken away. And I don't want to see an America where I tell my grandchildren what we used to be able to do.
Well, I'll tell you something, I mean, I'm looking over my shoulder. I've got my governor who, Ron DeSantis is sticking into this race for one reason and one reason only. He thinks Trump's going to be in jail. I mean, that's my governor, and I've been ripping him. And he obviously is a very angry, bitter little man. And, you don't think I get nervous? He's like one of the most powerful people in our state. And we're in a new place right now. we're in a new era in this country, and it's not good. And I don't want President Trump to go to jail. I don't want him to be booked. I don't want him to be arrested. However, could you imagine if he's in a jail cell on election night and he's declared the president of the president-elect of the United States? Can you and from a jail cell? Could you imagine what that would be like?
I'm praying that he's not in a jail.
No, we don't want him in a jail cell.
No, but even Newt Gingrich, like I said the other night, I just saw a clip off of YouTube, and he is saying this is the most preposterous thing that is happening right now in our government constitutionally against everything in our Constitution, what they're doing, and Trump will be the nominee. And I loved hearing him say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is, like you said, this is a movement of integrity in politics going forward.
What this is about is, I describe President Trump like this all the time. He is a Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks-like figure. I'm serious. He's leading the American people to freedom from the tyranny of the deep state, of the military-industrial complex, of the donors, and China, who owns I don't know how much of our Congress. They own our president, and he's leading us to freedom from these people. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to be outrageous for, I know a lot of people in this business like to be like Howard Stern's, but made himself a millionaire many, many times over, being outrageous. I'm not trying to be outrageous or anything. This is what's going on here. And screw these people. Fox News. Shame on Fox News. Fox News said that no Trump surrogates will be allowed in the post-debate era room after the debate. Now, well, I don't want our people there anyway. I don't want Don Jr. there. But look at what they're doing. Fannie Lewis, in these charges, remember, 2 of the charges against President Trump are telling people to watch Newsmax, One American News, and Right Side Broadcasting. So what is, Rush always talked about state-controlled media. We're officially there because Fannie Lewis has 2 charges against Trump for telling people to watch non-state approved media. And Fox News should be screaming at the top of their lungs that they're prosecuting people for watching news that they don't want them to watch. But no, they're not even talking about that.
It's the most ludicrous, throwing mud at the wall because people will stick. I mean, this is completely against our Constitution, these people. And I'll tell you what, like you said, it's waking up people. People are looking back in history now. People are actually studying history.
Yeah, listen, I think I got to run for the break, but thanks for the call. If you are on hold, stand by. We're going to go to the phones after the break, and there's much more to share. I want to hear your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions to what they're doing to the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening to the program. 1-888-465-2631. And I want to hear, we haven't heard from any liberal black callers. I want them to explain to me. We've got a black woman and a black man arresting, booking, and President Trump on Thursday. We've got a black female judge in D.C. that's looking to lock him up. We've got a black prosecutor in New York that arrested Trump. Can we move on from that? Now, if there's systemic racism, it must be black against white, okay? I think we are in a post-racial society where blacks are pretty empowered today when you look at what's going on. All right, we'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Ryan. I just want to say thank you for Dr. Appleton.
Oh, I was just ready to do that commercial.
It took 3 hours to go down there. Took my 90-year-old mom. My mom walked straighter than she ever walked in her life. And I I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being such a willing vessel to talk about Dr. Appleton.
That's amazing. So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Appleton and drove to South Florida with your mother to see him.
Yes, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on a train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, no pain. She gets off that train, and my sister says she walks like a young woman.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor.
Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and please like the video, okay? Liking the video, guys, helps spread the word about the channel.
Restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet them...
You know, does anyone know, who knows, just say yes or no, if you know who Bass Reeves was. I saw Bass's name in there, remind me. Bass Reeves. Yesterday, you knew who Bass Reeves was? Reason I ask, there's Paramount Plus has a new series coming out this fall about Bass Reeves.
320-8893.
Need help with your finances? You need Keith Singer. Review your income.
Bass Reeves was a black U.S. Marshal in the Old West.
At 7 a.m. right here on the True Oldies channel and SingerWealth.com.
When you need lab work,
And a Republican, by the way. I'm sure they'll leave that he was a Republican part out of the TV show. Yeah, he was a black U.S. Marshal in the Old West in the 1800s. It hasn't debuted yet, but I saw a preview for it.
Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Love the outdoors and the open road? Don't miss RV Hour.
All right, we're coming back.
Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation World second generation owner and CEO Mark DeMera and his co-host Dwayne Adams. RV Hour, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. right here on the True Oldies channel.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show. You know, my wife was in the hospital over the weekend. She had surgery, and she was admitted to the hospital before we got there, right? Her doctor, she had an issue. She called her doctor, and he did the admission and told us just to go to the hospital. And, of course, my wife had to grab a lot of things to take to the hospital for the admission, but she, of course, took her MyPillow. I'm not kidding. She took her MyPillow because she's so used to... After you sleep on a MyPillow, you won't want any other pillow either, no matter where you're staying, a hospital, a hotel room. I take my MyPillow on our cruises. But the one she took with her was the 20th anniversary MyPillow. It's, and it's the luxury MyPillow. It's the one that the cover is made out of that great Giza cotton. It has that piping around it. It's so beautiful. It's so nice. And it's just $19.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. That's right, just $19.98. It's the 20th anniversary limited edition MyPillow. And when we came back from the hospital, of course, and she also had her, because we have the Giza Dream Sheets, she had her Giza pillow cover, pillowcase on it. And we washed and dried it yesterday when we got home from the hospital. And it's like, because, you know, when you're in the hospital, you want to wash and dry it. But, you know, they're washable, they're dryable, and they're like new when you get it out of the dryer. It's absolutely amazing. So go to mypillow.com and order the 20th anniversary limited edition MyPillow. That case on the outside is 100% Giza cotton. And it, of course, comes with a 10-year warranty. What kind of pillow comes with a 10-year warranty? A MyPillow. Just $19.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout. Now, if you already have a MyPillow, well, get this one as a gift. If not for yourself, somebody else. They will love it. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, so Fox News, yeah, let me read this. This is in the New York Post, another one of the Murdoch propaganda pieces of state-controlled media. Fox News informed the Trump campaign that surrogates for the former president will not be allowed to attend the first Republican primary debate. The barring of Trump surrogates from attending Wednesday's debate in Milwaukee comes one day after the 77-year-old former president confirmed that he would not participate in the event. Well, he's a little busy being arrested, jerks. The New York Post has confirmed that surrogates for any candidate who didn't make the stage won't be allowed at the debate, so this is not Trump. Well, who are these other candidates? They're not even credible people. Have your little mock debate that no one cares about, okay? Don't watch it. Do not watch the Fox News debate. Fox News became number one because of us. We made them number one, and look how they've paid us back with betrayal after betrayal. Done with Fox News. I don't care. There are people there I like. Okay, I like Gutfeld, but I'm sorry. Not going to watch it. And you shouldn't either. You know, listen, I'm not a boycott kind of guy, but a message has to be sent. And, you know, when I was talking to the previous caller about these charges against Trump in Fulton County, there's two different charges. The first charge is tweeting, telling people to watch One American News and Newsmax. The second charge is they're charging him with a criminal act, telling people to watch Right Side Broadcasting. Anyone in media should be screaming at the top of their lungs that any American, especially a president, is being charged with criminal charges for telling people to watch non-state approved media. But they're not. Because Fox News can't compete anymore. They can't compete. They're no longer number one. I don't know what their rankings are. They're not number one anymore. I'm sorry. And yeah, that's right. They can't beat Newsmax or these people, so what do they want to do? They want them banned. They're very comfortable with it. Our cable news is officially state-controlled media. The only reason we even talk about it is because Steve watches the TV news still. If Steve got his information from the internet like I do and a lot of you do, we wouldn't even talk about the cable news on this program. The cable news, first off, even before this, I was done with it because it's too slow for me. You know, come on. Don't you think the cable news is a little too slow for you too? It's too slow for me. But after these final they betrayed us once, we went back, and then they fired Tucker, and that's it. And the way that they're handling this debate, they deserve to fail. What Fox News is doing is so similar to what Bud Light did. Bud Light canceled it. You know, Bud Light, with the Dylan Mulvaney thing, there was a mistake made. They had this stupid woke girl in charge of their social media advertising. I don't know. She went to Harvard, Yale, one of those, you know, propaganda centers. And she screwed up. And Anheuser-Busch, instead, because they were afraid that there'd be some bad tweets about them or something from these woke weirdos, they didn't stand up and fire her and say we made a mistake and we apologize to our customers. They didn't do that. They doubled down on the Mulvaney thing. And now Bud Light is, you know, no longer a reputable brand. I was in Publix the other day, and I went down the beer aisle just to see, and Bud Light was completely full. There wasn't a single 6-pack, 12-pack, or case missing. It was completely stocked, and it wasn't because they had just stocked it, because the other Anheuser-Busch products were missing a lot, okay? People are not buying Bud Light. And what Fox News is doing with their treatment of Trump, okay, why should he go to that debate and talk to a bunch of losers with 6%, 1%, 3%? Why should he go talk to them? Who would do that? Why would you do that? Makes no sense at all. Stupid for him to do that. And they won't let the surrogates there? Well, I don't want them there anyway. I heard that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Don Jr. and some others were going to be there. I don't want them there anyway. We don't need surrogates there to give any credibility to this debate. You know, I was watching CNN yesterday. CNN was defending Fox News, standing up to Trump. All of a sudden, CNN's approving of Fox News. All of a sudden, CNN wants people to watch a presidential debate on Fox News channel. This is insane. When Fox News is being defended by the Clinton News Network over at CNN, you know Fox News is done. I'm surprised they don't have Brian Stelter over there on Fox News moderating this debate. And you know what? Martha McCallum and Bret Baier, get ready for the ratings disaster of your life, okay? This is going to be the lowest rated primary debate in history. And now they'll spin it and they'll find something where they can look good. But there are people like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly who are on the inside who will tell us the truth about the ratings disaster of this debate tomorrow night on Fox News. I am not going to watch it. Now, I have to be prepared so I can talk about such things. I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to give Fox News the ratings. You know, if you put it on, you give them the ratings. I'll get it off of social media, off the internet. Okay? And it will not be from a Fox News platform. And I think it's important for people to do that. You know, I remember when Fox News became number one after the 2000 recount. And I've told this before, but I'll tell it again because it's so important. When they were doing the 2000 recount, the entire national media was based right here in South Florida. And I was at the vote counting place in Broward County. It was at the Broward County Governmental Center on Pine Island Road and Broward Boulevard behind that round courthouse over there by the library. That's where they did the first recount in Broward. Later they moved it to the courthouse, but the entire national media were there. And they did the recounts of the ballots in Broward in that building. And I remember people, Republicans, going up to William LaJeunesse from Fox News between segments, shaking his hand, hugging him, and thanking him for bringing real news to people. Fair and balanced news. That's when Fox News got discovered. They'd been on since '94, but they were lowly rated. And after that, they became number one. And like the rest of the media and the Uniparty and the liberals, they think we're stupid. They think all Republicans are married to their cousins, first cousins probably, and we're stupid. You didn't go to Harvard, you didn't go to Yale, Princeton, or the Columbia School of Journalism, or the CIA recruiting institution, the London School of Economics or something, so what do you know? And it is so important for them to crash and burn in the ratings, Fox News. A message has to be sent. And I will not be watching the debate tomorrow night on Fox News. I will not. Like I said, I'm going to get up early the next morning, earlier than I normally do, and get it online from another source other than Fox, because I don't want to give them my rating. And I think you guys should do the same. I really do. And this is not my normal way. I want the ratings to be so low for this debate on Fox News tomorrow night that Martha McCallum is more embarrassed at the low ratings than she is her aging neck that she continues to try to cover up. She's gone through more ways to try to cover up her neck. Just grow old gracefully, Martha McCallum, okay? My goodness. I know you're on 4K and all. And that the message has to be sent. And that's the only way to send it. Okay? And let them prop up these, the Murdochs, they personally approached Youngkin. They're trying to replace DeSantis. Notice they skipped over Ramaswamy and all these others. They're trying to get Glenn Youngkin to run now. Why do we have executives from Fox News Channel recruiting presidential candidates? Since when do the media go out and recruit so openly presidential candidates? That's the new Fox News. Remember, a few years back, they dropped that, really, their whole station identity. We report, you decide. They openly dropped that about 5 years ago. All right, we're coming up on our top of the hour break. It's Tuesday morning, August 22nd. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. celebrating 46 years on the radio. We'll take our break, come back with your calls and more. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD
Insane.
Indiantown.
Freaking insane.
Paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. Pretty great weather for South Florida, considering the time of the year. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s, and we'll actually be a little drier with just a slight chance of an isolated storm. Maybe more Sahara and dust in the area. So about 92, but not too bad, with an east wind at about 10 miles an hour. I'm the WPDF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1, Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Palm Beach is the major expressways are crash free, but we're still seeing a disabled vehicle blocked on the left shoulder along I-95 heading south on Gateway Boulevard. I-95 heading north on the lane 10, and road disabled vehicle Walker left on the block. And further south on the Broward County Turnpike south on ramp to Commercial Boulevard has been reopened. This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies. The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF to help connect schools to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get deals on top tech powered by the
I could see your face, our viewers couldn't see it, and I could see all your thought bubbles. I want to hear all of them.
Traffic, a service. Oh yeah, I have quite a few, Nicole. First of all, I am so impressed when I hear evidence of Mark Meadows saying things that are pretty dramatic.
The Charlestown Classic and more. Visit the Paddock Restaurant with over 180 new HD TVs and big screen, plus exceptional dining and drinks. The Paddock is also your best bet for comedy, music, and dinner shows.
Oh.
For full schedule lineup, go to bbkennelclub.com.
Oh.
ABC News Update.
ABC News now, I'm Tom Rivers. Yet another study on the negative effects of too much device time for young children.
Researchers say too much screen time for babies at 1 year old is linked to developmental delays by the time they become toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
Kids at age 1 who have an excessive amount of screen time are lacking that basic
I am starving. I've been up way too early this morning. Our new cat, she likes to walk around the house all night long meowing. She's a night owl. So, been hard to sleep in the house the last few nights with the cat.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. In the divorce process, it comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important. It's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Miami area attorneys. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Offices in Miami-Dade County and Fort Lauderdale. CordellCordell.com. Isocard, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. They're arresting our president again. No, this is not getting boring or normal. They keep saying that in the news. So they're very excited. Nicole Wallace, who's a real beaut. Nicole Wallace claims she's a Republican, but she talks like a Democrat. She worked for John McCain, and she was probably the source of all the leaks about Sarah Palin in that 2008 race. And she's sitting around with a panel of Trump haters just having a party, talking about Mark Meadows, who they want to tell us has betrayed President Trump. I've never seen nor heard Nicole Wallace happy before, but oh boy, she's jumping out of her chair on MSNBC yesterday. Listen.
I could see your face. Our viewers couldn't see it, and I could see all your thought bubbles. I want to hear all of them.
Oh yeah, I have quite a few, Nicole. First of all, I am so impressed when I hear evidence of Mark Meadows saying things that pretty dramatically undercut Donald Trump's claims regarding the.
Oh. Well, this is interesting. Okay, so here's what they're doing, okay? And this is an article in the Huffington Post about this. I can't listen to these liberal jerks. I'll just read you this article. I just can't. The happiness that an American president is going to be arrested on Thursday, I just can't listen to that. But let me read this article about it. This is in the Huffington Post, and I don't believe this is true, by the way. I don't believe this is true. Sung like a canary. Ex-GOP lawmaker names Trump insider who flipped. They're saying it's Mark Meadows, by the way. Former Rep. David Jolly, Republican from Florida, said there's one name Donald Trump needs to fear as the criminal cases against him move forward. That name is Mark Meadows. He says, I served with Mark Meadows. I know Mark Meadows. Jolly told Nicole Wallace on MSNBC yesterday. And I believe that Mark Meadows has sung like a canary already. He believes that, or he wants to believe it. Meadows was Trump's White House chief of staff for much of his final year in office, and it was in that role, as it goes on and on and on. Meadows isn't somebody who wants to go to prison for Donald Trump, Jolly says. You know, see, this is what they're doing. Divide. They're trying, you know, they don't understand Trump or the MAGA movement, okay? They know that he follows the media, so they're trying to manipulate him. So they're trying to convince President Trump that Mark Meadows has betrayed him. I see no evidence of that. In fact, Mark Meadows, what he's been involved in openly is on Trump's side. You know, Mark Meadows is, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but Mark Meadows is the one whose attorneys are trying to get this case brought to the federal court out of the local court in Fulton County. Okay, I'll talk more about that in a moment. But what they're trying to do is manipulate Donald Trump into getting paranoid about Mark Meadows. They're trying to do a divide and conquer thing. If he thinks Mark Meadows has betrayed him, why would he believe the fake news? All of a sudden, you know, this is their arrogance. They think that he's going to believe their fake news. You know, they tried to con him into doing the Fox News debate. They've been calling him chicken all week. Oh, he's afraid. He's afraid. You know, because they think he's pathetic and insecure. So they think if they call him chicken for a week, he'd do the debate. That failed. So they think this is going to work. But what Mark Meadows is doing is absolutely fascinating and amazing. Okay? Mark Meadows is made a move with his attorneys to have this case moved out of the local Fulton County court to federal court. And the reason that is, there's something called presidential and executive immunity. Now, I'm no lawyer. I've just heard legal experts talk about it. I love these people that do shows that act like they're experts. They read a Wikipedia entry, they read an article, or they hear Turley or somebody say something, then they regurgitate it like they know what they're talking about. But apparently, that's right. Apparently, presidents and federal officials, in particular those who work for presidents, have immunity from any type of prosecution, both civilly or criminally, from local authorities for actions they did while in federal office. And there have been instances in the past, they say, where local officials have tried to pull this, what Fannie Willis is saying, and they make a motion to move it to federal court, which it does, and in every instance, the federal courts have dismissed the charges. You can't have local officials going after presidents and their staffs for actions and things they do that they don't approve of while they're in office. And the reason, Mark, because we keep talking, when's the Supreme Court going to get involved? When's the Supreme Court? Well, there's a process. And Mark Meadows, I believe, is working very closely with President Trump on this. And I think the reason that Meadows is doing it first is to see how the courts handle it. They're looking for appeal arguments. They're looking for a case, an argument to take to the Supreme Court. You don't want to do it all at once. Now, because Giuliani and others, they can have Jenna Ellis. They can lock her up. That traitor is woman who's been out on that DeSantis train. She's the one who's probably trying to make a deal. And when they say sing like a canary, that means make anything up, tell Fannie Willis anything she wants to hear, and that's considered, turning against Trump, making things up, right? But if Mark Meadows is successful, and there's no reason to think that he won't be successful, that means Trump's case would get tossed too in Fulton County, Georgia. So no, I think the opposite is true, and it's a major diversionary tactic to point the finger at Mark Meadows when it's probably Jenna Ellis who's trying to make a deal, okay? And I've thought she's known this is coming down for a while, I'm sure, and she's been on Twitter spending her days for weeks and months supporting Ron DeSanctimonious for president over Trump. And I think now, looking back, that Jenna Ellis was probably doing that so that she could send a bat signal out to all these prosecutors that she's willing to cooperate, that she's no longer on the Trump train. So I'm not worried about Mark Meadows. I think Mark Meadows is very loyal to this country and to President Trump. I think he's disgusted by this. Jenna Ellis is another story. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. I'm still waiting to hear from some black liberals today to tell me, are we beyond all this racism stuff? Since we have a black woman and a man, they're going to arrest and book a white president on Thursday. We got a black judge in D.C. who's going to try to put him in jail. We got a black prosecutor in New York trying to arrest him and trying to put him in jail. I think blacks are pretty empowered in this country right now, pulling this off. So I'm looking for some black Democrats, some black liberals to process that. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, President.
Oh, hey, Doug. How are you?
My. First of all, $200,000 as a bail for President Trump. I mean, come on. First of all, what is the bill for? It's so make sure you show up. If he wanted to spend $200,000, it's nothing to him, man. He's a billionaire. He can spend it, and it's just a slap in the face again. It's really, really amazing, these people. When you're just talking about this supremacy thing, if that's correct, and I'm pretty sure that is correct, then these judges should be knowing in Georgia that this is not allowed, and they should be sorting it out themselves. But I guess they're just going to play this game that we do what we want to do, and do what they want. It's sickening. The other thing I want to mention, you said you shouldn't put anybody in jail. I mean, come on. Biden is known to have all these crimes. And as Richard Pryor used to say, it's justice. Just us are in jail. All the Republicans go to jail. They're never going to put any Democrat in jail.
Correct.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with charging. He's going to pardon to put him in jail, man, because this guy is corrupt. Anyways.
Okay. It is.
The debate at all. I don't care what these guys have to say. It's like, to me, it's like watching MSNBC. Can't listen.
The only thing that could happen in that debate that would make it interesting, because I predict it'll be very boring, is if they announce, if individual candidates announce they're dropping out and endorsing Donald Trump. That would be interesting. But short of that, I don't see anything interesting coming out of it.
Yeah, and when you said that yesterday, certainly if DeSantis said that, I would say, all right, if he came up and said, I made a mistake and I'm not running, I'm behind President Trump, I'll start to forgive him. But he won't do that.
You can forgive, but I'll never trust him. Never trust DeSantis. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, good morning, Bron. This is Barbara in Fulton.
Hey, Barbara.
And I just thought I'd give you a call to let you know, if you're looking for black liberals, you're probably not going to find any because we're sick of them. I live in Baltimore, and I'm telling you, things are changing in the black community as far as Donald Trump is concerned. And you said it about making him a martyr, like a Martin Luther King. Everybody, Mandela rolled into one. And then you put Tupac in there, like Suge Knight's son did. He's being persecuted And black men, and particularly, I think, are identifying with him, happening to him, and can see how this can very easily happen to black men because it has happened in the past.
That's right.
Democrats.
That's right.
I don't think you're gonna get your wish.
No, we hear from black liberals all the time on this program. It seems to me that black people are pretty empowered when so many of them are arresting a white president of the United States. That seems pretty empowered.
They should be embarrassed by it.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that this is happening in our country.
Fortunate. It shows you where the real racism is. Black people are getting over it. Hopefully they're getting over it. They thought, I think you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but when Barack Obama was elected president, I didn't vote for him, by the way, but when he was elected president, didn't most white people say, well, okay, a black man is now the president, so maybe now we'll just all get along. I believe most white people thought it was going to be over because black people didn't have enough in the population to elect the president. So white people put Barack Obama in office.
That's correct.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
No doubt about it. So did you feel like that? You said, well, okay, he won. Because that's what I thought.
Well, listen. As far as I didn't vote for him either. And I think most he was elected because the majority of whites voted for him both times. And I think a lot of liberals, they just wanted to be involved with being part of history. I voted for the first. Can you tell me what the major, other than him being the first black president, which is a big deal, but other than just being the first black president, what was the greatest accomplishment of Obama's 8 years in the White House? It seems like 8 years of nothingness to me.
There you go. You named it. You called it.
Yeah.
Accomplishment.
None.
What accomplishment?
None.
Because he really didn't. As a matter of fact, he started this on the road backwards, is what he did. He did calculations backwards. That was huge what he did with the Trayvon.
He doesn't, yeah. Oh, yeah. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. Oh, yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah. Hey, listen, Barbara, I'm late for the break. Thanks for the call. Barbara in Baltimore. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Are you dreaming of cool ocean breezes to beat this summer heat? Well, climb aboard Margaritaville at Sea, the only cruise line offering 3-day, 2-night getaways from Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to a spacious ocean view cabin. Starting at just $99 per person for cruises now through April 2024. From pickleball to piano bar and everything in between. You won't want to miss all there is to discover aboard the newly refreshed Margaritaville at Sea. Book now and claim your free ocean view upgrade at MargaritavilleAtSea.com.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our MyPillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day. The buy one get one free, and they're our first MyPillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your MyPillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Hi, it's Katie from Will For You. I am so excited to let you in on some exciting news. Our Jupiter store has moved to a new location that's double the size. Come in and see us on the corner of Alternate A1A and Indiantown Road next to Publix. Mention this ad and receive a free gift. We strive to make buying new flooring for your home friendly, fresh, and convenient. We offer lots of options from America's top brands and always have the best pricing. From one local to another, Will For You is your hometown flooring store that has it all. Will For You and Jupiter store and willfloor.com.
There we go.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, and we are back. Calls on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We're processing this Banana Republic situation we're in. Oh, man. I want to take a moment to tell you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. You know, he's the resident Steve Kane Show dentist. He has been for many, many years. He does all the dental work in the entire Kane family, and I know many of you in this audience as well. And, you know, the thing about Brighton Dental, he does incredible dental work. He's a top dentist, but his prices are like out of the 80s and 90s. He has the best prices anywhere, Dr. Gupta. It's absolutely amazing. And he takes extra good care of Steve Kane Show listeners. You know, he's a listener. He's listened to this program since the 80s. So when you go and see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental, it'll be like you're seeing a member of your family who's a dentist. He'll know all, you know, you'll feel an immediate bond. And you've heard Richie, the bus driver, drives over 130 miles to see Dr. Gupta because he's so good and his prices are spectacular. Give him a call, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633 for Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. That's 954-922-4633. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee.
Yeah, so, you know, I think that this arrest is going to be very, very good karma for the guy that tried to kill 5 innocent young black men and wrote a full-page ad in the New York Times wanting to have them killed, and they're innocent. So this is perfect karma.
What you're talking about? What? Who?
Trump.
No. Who are these guys who are these guys you're talking about?
Part 5.
Oh, you mean wait a second. Wait a second. You mean the guys that pled guilty? The guys that told the cops they did it? Okay, those guys?
Oh, you're one of them too. Isn't that nice?
Well, when people, you know, listen, you know, you can haul me in front of any interrogation. I'm not going to confess to a rape or a murder that I didn't do. And I tend, when, you know, criminals lie about everything other than typically what they did criminally, all right? But regardless of that, let's talk about things that are more relevant, Renee from Harlem, other than 5 guys who confessed their crimes and said they did it. Okay, whatever. I'm not here to talk about. Listen. This is not ID. We do not rehash criminal cases in New York City in the 1980s and 90s. That's not what we do here. We talk about the news with a highlight on the new portion of the story. So here we have a white president of the United States who on Thursday in Georgia is going to be he's going to be arrested, charged, and booked by a black woman and a black man. We have a black judge in D.C. who wants to throw him in prison. We have a black prosecutor in New York that arrested Donald Trump. It seems to me like black people are pretty empowered. I guess, what do you mean? They're all these black people are arresting a white president. That seems empowered. You don't agree?
No.
Well, how can they not? How can these black people in different jurisdictions in different parts of the United States arrest a white president if they're not empowered? How's that happening? What? How's it happening?
It's easy, because he's guilty.
No. But if this country were an anti-black racist country, as you fantasize it is today, a white guy would get away with his crimes. How are all these black people able to prosecute a white president?
How do you think this guy could be indicted 4 times, impeached twice, and still walk the street?
Well, the Central Park 5 you were talking about were indicted, and you said they didn't do it. Oh, sorry to hang you by your own, thing there. On that note, we'll move on, because that was a good point I think I made. How can I top that in that call? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, sir. My name is Jamie. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, Jamie. How are you?
Doing well. Listen, I am a black man. I'm an independent. And I just kind of want to sit back and, discuss with you about Trump and his current case. And I want to tell you something. Trump could have gotten reelected, but got him in trouble.
Uh-huh.
I'm just telling you that if Trump's mouth got him in trouble and he had people around him that were incompetent. Now, guess what? That all comes back to him. It's his fault for putting those people in charge that got him in trouble and for him running his much.
He's too uppity. He's too uppity. He shouldn't talk so much.
Well, you know what? That's the thing. When you're going into politics, you have to understand, listen, I got to say some things this way. I can't say some things this way. I got to surround.
Okay, other than him talking in a way you don't approve of, what did Donald Trump do as president, policy-wise, that you would disagree with?
All right, policy-wise, I would say that I think personally he could have done more for middle-class Americans, and I'm talking about everybody else.
He gave us the excuse me. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, you see, I told you all these independent people, they're independently Democrat. You said no. You said Donald Trump could have done more for the middle class. Okay. Okay. He gave He gave us let me go through a few things that he did for the middle class. President Trump gave us the largest tax cut for the middle class in the history of the United States. That was for middle class people. It was for middle class people. Well, you're just wrong. He made us independent so far as oil production. We became the largest producer of oil in the world, which lowered gas prices to their all-time low. I remember on Inauguration Day, on Trump's last morning of his first term, I paid $1.57 a gallon. We had the lowest unemployment rate for African Americans since the slaves were freed. And of course, prices were very, very low on everything because of the energy prices. Those are all things that benefited the middle class. So he did that. What else do you disagree with him policy-wise that I can correct you on?
Okay, well, no, you're not correcting me on anything.
Yeah, I did. You just don't want to hear the truth.
No. I'm okay with hearing the truth. Like when you said that the unemployment was low for black people.
Yes.
That is true. That is true. And that's what I'm telling you. There's things I agree on, there's things.
Okay, so no. So I shut down your first point. What else did he do that you think that you disagree with him on?
Whole COVID situation. And he could have done better and not had the economy go into the swirl that it did. He should have jumped on that a lot quicker.
Really?
And more responsible about that. Yeah.
By jumping on it, what do you mean? The entire economy of the world was shut down, yet he kept the economy in better shape than it is now under this senile old coot, Joe Biden. Who'd you vote for in 2020?
I didn't vote for either one because
Who'd you vote? I didn't say who you didn't vote for. Who'd you vote for?
2020?
Yes.
I voted for Trump.
You voted for Trump. Who'd you vote for in 2016?
Independent.
Who'd you vote for in 2016?
In 2016, I voted for Obama.
Obama wasn't running in 2016.
I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh. I had to hit the dump button. Oh my goodness. If you talk to a liberal long enough, you'll catch him in a lie. A provable lie. All right, we'll be right back.
Morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
He's yeah. He said shit. You can't say shit on the radio. I knew something was going to come because he didn't like the.
Get that little slip.
Yeah.
Because I say that too. When I mess up, like, oh, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't say shit on the radio. I was late for a break anyway.
Now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
I tell you guys. I've had to use the dump button twice today. Well, there's words that you can't say that George Carlin left off his joke. Anybody believe he voted for Trump in 2020? Give me a break. See, a lot of liberals, they call shows claiming to be Republicans or independents because liberals know that if they say they're a Democrat, they immediately lose credibility. So they try to be something else. Yes. We're just a bunch of listless vessels. Welcome. Make sure that you like the video. There's over 1,200 in the live stream right now, and only a handful of you have liked the video. Guys, when you like the video, that helps spread the word about this channel to people that have not yet found it. So that helps a lot. So please like the video, guys. I didn't vote for Obama either. Either time. No, I never have had COVID either. Never. I don't like to say that I might be immune, but I've never had COVID. Either has my wife. It looks easy, Doug, just because I'm so good at it. But it's not. Steve's had COVID like 4 times. He's had it like maybe 3 times. But I've never had it. My daughter's had COVID, but I've never had it. There's more than 7, Freedom Soup. You know, people invent, you know, I had to dump Richie today. Richie said something.
Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, one and all. Let me just explain what that last caller with the dumping, because a lot of times, you know, people are new to the program. They don't know when I say I had to dump something. We're on delay, okay? The delay depends on, you know, if you're listening to us on the radio, what you're hearing is like about 10 seconds ago. And it can be longer depending on where you're listening to us and on what platform. And the reason that is sometimes people say things that you're not allowed to say on the radio. And when that happens, I have to hit the dump button. So when I say I dumped somebody or hit the dump button, I'm not dumping them because I disagree with their content. I'm dumping them because they say something you can't say on the air. The last caller said the S word. Okay? And I was catching him in a lie there. I had to dump in the first hour. Richie, the bus driver, said something that you can't say on any platform. Okay? He was going somewhere. So I had to dump Richie, the bus driver, in the first hour. And that's when I say, you know, that's what's going on when I say I had to dump someone. There are words and phrases that you can't say. And I know George Carlin had his 7 words. There's more than 7 words. And if George Carlin were with us, he would add to that, because people invent new words and phrases all the time in our society, and it amazes me, okay? And there's a trick to doing this. I explain this sometimes because, you know, when I remember Laura Ingraham, I heard her say the F word on her radio show when she was like on 400 or 500 stations. It was hilarious. You know, I've heard on national shows profanities go out because what happens, people use profanities, and, you know, I'm used to it. You know, when sometimes when I have certain callers on, if you're watching on YouTube, the phones are on my right side, and when I have certain callers on, I just have a feeling, and I keep myself close to the phone just in case. And the way you do it is when somebody uses a word you're not allowed to use on the radio, like the last caller with the S word, because I caught him in a lie, you know, you hang up on the caller, and then you hit the dump button. When you hit the dump button, you're live, and you got to wait for the delay to build back up. And sometimes people panic, and they hit the dump button and leave the caller on. And the caller's live now. They can say anything, and that's when other things happen, because you got to hang up on the caller and the dump button. And one of the funniest times, Steve and I were guesting on another show, on another radio station, and board hopping was Al Knight, who does weekends here on True Oldies. You know Al Knight? He was board hopping, and it was a very polite show. And then we went to the calls, and someone used one of the words, and Al Knight didn't even know where the dump button was because they had not had to use it. He was fumbling around. He found it just in time. But yeah, I've always got, you know, the arthritis that I talk about in my finger. You know, I remember I had to go to Dr. Appleton for arthritis. The arthritis pain, the main pain was in the finger I used for the dump button. I've had to use the dump button so many times over the years on this program that it gave me arthritis. But Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment rid me of that. So I got a fresh dump finger now. That's right. That's right. I want to tell you guys something, okay? Because, you know, COVID's coming back in the news. And I kind of I don't talk about COVID. I don't think anything COVID related is an interesting topic, and I don't want to get into all that, you know, COVID craziness again. But I want to tell you something that I encountered. You know, my wife was in the hospital over the weekend. That's why we were not here Friday. There was an emergency. My wife had to go to the hospital on Thursday. And on my podcast last night, my wife is out of the hospital and home. On my podcast last night, we went through all the details of what happened, including I assisted in her surgery. And I'm not kidding you. It's all on the pod. You guys can listen to the whole details of what happened. I don't want to get sidetracked on that now. But I learned something when I was in the hospital that is so upsetting about what happened. So my wife is getting prepped for surgery, and a nun came into the room I guess someone had alerted the nun that surgery was coming, so she came in. And I was, the nun did the prayers and all that. And I was talking to the nun, and she told me that they had just let them back in the hospital, clergy. Just let them back in the hospital recently. And after I was talking to my wife about this, yesterday, and I said, and I told her, I said, that's crazy. How many people, hospitals are where all the sick people are. When people I know are in the hospital, I don't visit. Even when my wife's in, I visit very little because hospitals are where the sick people go, and you get sick in the hospital. You can pick up things all the time at the hospital. But anyway, I was telling my wife this yesterday. I said, yeah, the nun said they just let them back in. And my wife told me something that her doctor told her that it just made me physically ill to hear this. My wife's doctor told her that during COVID, and the doctor was very upset about this, but these are the rules. Remember how people were not allowed to see their relatives when they were in the hospital? My wife's doctor told her that people were given iPads and had to FaceTime their relatives from their deathbeds to say goodbye to their families over FaceTime on iPads. And when the nun came in and did the prayers and everything, which was very nice, and I was thinking, how many people have died because when she said that they just let the clergy back into the hospital, and I noticed that because, hospitals have clergy parking, and my wife's in the hospital more often than most people, and the clergy spaces have been empty, and I was seeing clergy around the hospital, and they were standing out because I hadn't seen clergy in the hospital for so long. And I was talking about, I said, how many people have died in the last 3 years in hospitals that weren't able to get the last rites, they weren't able to do a confession, they weren't able to see a minister, a priest, their local reverend from their local church. I mean, that's just terrible what people have gone through. And then that's when she told me, well, the doctor told me that people had to say goodbye to their families on their deathbed over iPads on FaceTime calls. Can you imagine? So when I hear these stories that they're trying to bring COVID back, I'm not doing that again. And I think most people agree with me. Now, Whitmer and these lunatics in these Democrat states, that's another story. But that's awful. Can you imagine what it must be like? So what basically these people died alone. How many people died alone in hospitals without having been able to see their family to say goodbye or get the last rites or something? I mean, it's just awful. So anyway, we'll take our last break of the hour, come back. I do not want any calls about COVID. I don't want to talk about COVID. I'm not interested in getting calls about it. But that was just something I picked up over the weekend, and it's pretty sad. And I feel so sorry for those families and those who have passed. Can you imagine what it must be like? I got my iPad right here. You're dying, and you're dying, and they give you a damn iPad, and they call up your kids or your wife or your grandkids, and you say goodbye over an iPad? That is sick. That's sick. But hey, how rich is Fauci today? I don't know. Bet he's pretty rich. All right, listen, we'll take our last break, come back, get back into the politics. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back after this.
Friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Market on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just
Are you dreaming of cool ocean breezes to beat this summer heat? Well, climb aboard Margaritaville at Sea, the only cruise line offering 3-day, 2-night getaways from Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to a spacious ocean view cabin, starting at just $99 per person for cruises now through April 2024. From pickleball to piano bar and everything.
I mean, can you imagine what it must be like? You're on your deathbed and you can't see your family and they give you an iPad to say goodbye to them on a FaceTime call. That is some twisted stuff. That is some really sick, twisted stuff. The doctor was upset about it, but it wasn't his call. Yeah, basically those people died alone. Well, it's upsetting.
I was extremely nearsighted my entire life, but the new trifocal panoptic lenses he inserted allowed me to see more clearly than ever, and no more glasses or contacts.
Middleman Eye, 2 locations in Jupiter Gardens and West Palm Beach. Call 561-500-EYES. Online at middlemaneye.com. Call or text the Middleman Eye Center today at 561-500-2020 to make an appointment.
Yeah, on last night's podcast, and the last segment went through everything that my wife went through over the weekend. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, I forgot to I was talking about getting arthritis from using the dump button. You know, over the weekend is when people are most active, right? I know that's when I'm most active, doing physical things. You know, I mean, I run my mouth during the week, but on the weekends, I got stuff I got to do. And I'm not alone. That's when you're most active. Maybe you got hobbies. Maybe go fishing. You know, I go take my MAGA scooter for a ride, do all kinds of stuff. And that's when you wake up Monday, you wake up Tuesday, and you've got aches, you've got pains. You know, listen, stop living that way. The reason you have aches and pains on Monday and today's Tuesday is because you got problems, you've got injuries, you've got conditions, you're not getting treated for the pain. Go see Dr. Appleton. Let him do for you what he did for me. Right? Rid you of pain. All you got to lose is your pain. It's amazing. It works. He's rid me of pain 5 different times. He's my chiropractor. He wants to be your chiropractic physician too. Now remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. You can find Dr. Appleton online at appletonchiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. All right, that's 954-973-0710 for Dr. Philip Appleton. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, let me get into this stuff on Maui. And, you know, Biden with his lie about, well, let me play the clip, and then I got a second one that no one's playing, but I got one that when he lied about, you know, with the fire in the kitchen. Listen.
To compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake. It's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat. But all kidding aside, I watched the firefighters, the way they responded. No, there's no expression. I grew up right across the street from a fire hall in Claremont, Delaware.
And okay, a few things there. You see how tired and groggy he is? You know why that is. They've increased security, the Secret Service. They can't get the cocaine in anymore. And I'm starting to think that the cocaine was his, not Hunter's. That they'd give him a bump before he did some press conference or something. I don't know, but I know that he sounds a lot more tired when he speaks lately than he did before the cocaine incident. Have you noticed that? Now, a couple things there, and I know everyone's playing this clip, and how can you compare a kitchen fire to people losing everything? You know, you lose your home, my goodness. That's everything people have. And, oh man, it's everything people have. And have we gotten the calls of the fire yet? I'm still thinking arson for a land grab, but we'll find out. But you know, Joe Biden, in that little clip there, has two of the worst personality conflicts an individual can have. The second one is I should not share with you my pet peeves, because if I tell you guys what my pet peeves are, you'll use them against me in the calls. But I'm going to give you one of my pet peeves. It's the second one. But the first one is he is a pathological liar. Have any of you known a pathological liar? It's the worst. People that will lie for no reason at all. They don't even know how to tell the truth. Pathological liars will lie when the truth would serve them better. And to compare a home kitchen fire to people losing everything they have. And by the way, most of the people that lost their homes only have one house. They don't have a beach house and then another mansion, and they don't have all these millions from Ukraine coming their way just to buy a new one, you know, and all that stuff. They worked hard for their home. They've lost everything. Their family pictures, their family heirlooms, grandma's rocking chair that's been handed down, all that stuff. The wedding dresses, all that's been lost. You know, I keep things. I have the suit I got married in 27 years ago. I have, this is crazy, I have the shirt that I wore on my first date with my wife. It still fits. I wouldn't wear it though, it's pretty ugly. Can't believe she married me after that, you know, that shirt. But, I have things that would be missed on top of, but he loves that vet, that 67 vet, what a creeper. But that, he's just a pathological liar. But the second thing that Biden did there, that to me, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, but it is that second thing he did, to me, is the worst personality defect that people have, okay? And this is one that I hate. Whenever you tell someone a story or something happens to you, they tell you how it happened to them in a different way, right? My house burned down, my family, we lost everything. We lost our family pictures, we lost the baby clothes, we lost the bronze feet, the shoes from the baby. Well, I had that kitchen fire. You understand what I mean? That is, people have a lot of personality defects. But to me, that's the worst one. When someone tells you something and then they tell you how the same thing happened to them. That is something, and I know a lot of you may do that and you don't realize, it is so rude. If they had finishing schools today, I bet you they teach you not to do that in finishing schools. But that's the worst. Even if you lost everything, right? You don't make it about you. You understand? Does that make sense? That is like the worst personality defect that I've ever known people to have. And I've known people that have that now, that I know now that have that, no matter what you tell them, right? Like I'm talking about my arthritis in my finger. They'll have arthritis in all 5 fingers, and it was worse. You know what I'm talking? So that's, that's a bad thing. But Biden's just a terrible person. Now, the Hawaiians are plenty ticked, and there's a common theme going on with Hawaiians, in particular those in Maui, but Hawaii as a whole. Now, let's remember, Hawaii is a Democrat state. I think everyone in Hawaii is pretty much a Democrat. But listen to these. This is a husband and wife, Maui residents, talking about Biden.
But Biden has really failed us. He, when something like this, one of the worst disasters in U.S. history happens, he hasn't been out here, and it's been 2 weeks on Tuesday. What kind of president does that? And then the FEMA, they're giving some people, $700. We didn't get the $700, and we're not complaining about that, but giving people that just $700 to survive when they just lost everything, their clothes, their family members, is insulting. People need more help, and we're seeing all this money being donated to other countries, billions of dollars, and we're not getting that help. They're more concerned with their political agendas in other locations when they should be taking care of Hawaii, which is, we are part of the U.S. We pay taxes. It's not right to do this to us. They need to care more.
I do know.
Yeah. So, of course, what they're talking about there is Ukraine. And I promise you, if there was a little tiny brush fire in Ukraine, they would have sent firefighters from all over America over there. And you're hearing more and more people from Hawaii talk about you, and they're in particular talking about Ukraine. Now, I've been saying this all week, but I want to say it again, no one's picking up on this. There's a reason why Biden has not helped Hawaii, and this is not a joke. I'm not making a joke here. I wouldn't joke about something so serious. I mean, not everyone in Maui is Oprah Winfrey. Okay, even people that have beautiful, expensive homes in Maui, a lot of people that earn 6 and 7 figures a year, as crazy as it sounds, are broke. They're like paycheck to paycheck. And good luck with the insurance. You know how insurance works. They pay you for the value, not the replacement value. Do you know it's like in your car? I'm hearing sirens. Are those the PC police coming? I don't know. You never know. You never know. Hey, Biden may be sending them here. They're arresting Trump. Maybe they're on their way to get me. I don't know. It's like you get in a car accident, you get paid, you total the car, you get paid the value of the car at the time of the accident, not the replacement value. That's why I always get the gap insurance. A similar thing happens when your house burns down and you lose everything, even the 67 vet, Joe. Boy, he just loves to brag about that vet no matter what's going on. But, I've been telling you all that for me to follow what goes on in Ukraine, I go to this YouTuber, Pavlo from Ukraine. And Pavlo in Ukraine is a 20-something-year-old guy. He has a YouTube channel, and he's a vlogger. And he's been vlogging for a long time. He's about 25 to 27 years old. And I go to Pavlo in Ukraine on YouTube, and you should too, after I'm off the air. Don't do it until after 9 o'clock. Don't do it now. And I know Tucker did an interview with one of the generals, I forget, was it McGregor that he interviewed, and they're talking about how bad things are going in Ukraine. I don't know, but I know Pavlo in Ukraine, if I go to his YouTube channel, he has been renovating a house in Ukraine and the countryside with his bikini model Ukrainian girlfriend who likes to walk around without bras and tight shirts on, okay? She doesn't seem to be hiding from those Russian army rape gangs that we've been hearing about. And he is certainly military age, and he's not joining the military. And he's had like 6 videos in a row, maybe more, of renovating this Ukrainian house. It's like watching, Home and Garden Channel when they do home renovations. He renovated an old car that he found that was left behind in Ukraine back in the Soviet Union days. He went to the beach with his girlfriend and her friends in their bikinis in Ukraine. These are the things that he does. And you go, it's Pavlo from Ukraine is his YouTube channel. And that's where I go to find out how serious it is in Ukraine. And I'm not making fun, I'm not joking, and I'm not trying to be funny. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm not getting the real story from the news. When Pavlo all of a sudden is in the military, or he's sending his braless girlfriend off to Poland to avoid the Russian army rape gangs, and I'll say, well, things are serious. But it doesn't look like Pavlo and his braless girlfriend are all that worried. All right, we'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the...
Have any of you went and seen Pavlo from Ukraine? I check in like every couple of weeks. I sub to his channel. And he's been renovating this house in Ukraine. He did a whole video on restoring the door. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. Pretty great weather for South Florida considering the time of the year. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s and we'll actually be a little drier with just a slight chance of an isolated storm. We have more Saharan dust in the area, so about 92, but not too bad with an east wind at about 10 miles an hour. On the WPDF 25, first warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
It's ridiculous.
Brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture.
Yeah, I sub to it. You know, I've been promoting him for this whole war. I've been telling people that's where you go to find out how things are going in Ukraine. You know, when Pavlo's in the army or flees Ukraine or gets his girlfriend out, then we'll worry.
95 northbound Renton Lane, Sandra Road, disabled vehicle has the off-ramp left shoulder blocked now. The major expressways are crash lane, largely moving up the speed.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. So here they are. They're putting insulation into the house. Here they are, restoring a 50-year-old door. That's 9 days ago. Restoring an abandoned house in Ukraine. Our Soviet car broke down, so they fixed it. His first ride on a Soviet Jeep, village life in Ukraine. Here's Pavlo, his girlfriend, and their new puppy. Abandoned house in Ukraine. You know, give me a break. Does it look like it's all that? Someone texted me. You shouldn't have said braless girlfriend. There goes everyone to, yeah. I think that's where they're going.
Researchers say too much screen time for babies at 1 year old is linked to developmental delays by the time they become toddlers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he vlogs in Ukraine.
Former President Trump hit his social media to announce he'll surrender in Atlanta on Thursday in the Georgia election interference case. This is ABC News.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important. It's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's lawyers.
It's the only place you can go to find out what's really going on in Ukraine, right? I mean, it looks like paradise. General McGregor told Tucker that they've lost 400,000 in the Army. Is that what he said to Tucker? I just saw a clip of the interview. I haven't watched the full interview yet. Why isn't Pavlo drafted? He's putting insulation into his home. Did a little how-to video on it. Come on. The grocery, they did a whole video on on the grocery store in Ukraine, packed with food. And the prices are better than here, I bet you. Yeah, I'll watch the Tucker interview with the general in its entirety.
So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
Yeah. Pablo should cut me a check. I give him so much promo.
It's the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. Callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. The best I can be for the president being arrested on Thursday. You know, Steve, on the way in this morning, I talked about this right at the top at 6, but you probably weren't listening quite yet. On the way in this morning, I was listening to the news in the car. Oh, and by the way, have you heard on our top of the hour news, they've been running a story all morning about having children, young children and babies in front of computer screens or cell phones is bad for their brains. Let me tell you, do you know what is very good to stimulate the brains of babies and young children? This is true. This is true. Scientifically proven. Listening to the radio. Listening to the radio. Put the radio on, of course, on our radio station, whichever one you're listening to us on. But, you know, and it's true. My daughter grew up listening to this show, and she's doing wonderful. She just went through a hurricane and an earthquake in California. So have the babies and the kids listen to the radio, this radio station in particular, and you'll have the most brilliant children ever. They'll learn so much, especially from this program, but the whole radio station as a whole, of course. But anyway, no. On the way in, I'm listening to the news, and I'm listening to in the car on the way into the radio station, and I'm listening to these liberal newscasters just jumping for joy that President Trump's getting arrested on Thursday, the $200,000 bail. They're all excited, and I'm getting ticked off. So what I did is I went by the airport, and Trump Force One is at the airport, and I went by about 5:30 this morning, and of course I made a YouTube video of this, guys, on my YouTube channel that you'll want to check out. But I stopped by the airport on the way to the radio station at 5:30 this morning. I was almost late to the show to go and see Trump Force One, which is on the tarmac at Palm Beach International Airport, and just seeing President Trump's Trump Force One just gave me a lot of motivation and energy this morning and got me over listening to those jerks celebrate the fourth arrest of the president. But other than that, Steve, other than the arrest of the president, I'm doing well.
Follow up on the story you mentioned yesterday. Do you remember?
Yeah, well, there's no follow-up, but I'll update people on this because this is huge, okay? Apparently, see, there's a lot of obscure laws and old laws and things that are coming into play now that a lot of lawyers didn't know about, apparently, you know. And the reason that a lot of these rules and laws and things were not known is because no one has arrested a president of the United States before. So, and President Trump has top lawyers on all four of his legal teams that these snakes have after him, you know. Apparently, local prosecutors cannot bring charges either criminally or civilly against presidents or their staff members who were for things that they did while they were in office. And Fannie Lewis, this is why Mark Meadows has made a motion to try to get his case moved from Fulton County to the federal courts. And apparently long ago, this has happened before, not with presidents, of course, but with lower-ranking federal officials, which I don't have the details on, but all the legal experts I've heard talk about it says that this has happened before where local prosecutors have gone after federal officials. The federal officials went to the federal courts, got it moved there, and it was dismissed in every instance. It's called presidential immunity. And it's for federal employees, but in particular, presidential immunity covers presidents and their staff for actions that they were involved in and while the president was in office. In fact, a judge in Pennsylvania, there was a civil case coming out against Trump in Pennsylvania, and a Pennsylvania judge, this was recent, ruled that presidential immunity applies and you cannot go after President Trump civilly or criminally. But they were dealing with a civil case. So that's why Mark Meadows is trying to get the case in Fulton County moved to the federal bench. And he's doing it first because they want to get more bites at the apple in case it fails, right? So he'll go, and if justice is done, it'll get sent to the federal courts and dismissed. If not, any step of the way, they'll take Meadows to the Supreme Court. And then if that one fails, then they'll do the next. Now, this doesn't apply to people who were not federal employees. Mark Meadows was the chief of staff to President Trump. So this wouldn't apply to, say, like Giuliani or Jenna Ellis, okay? This would apply to people that were, federal employees, which would be the president, Mark Meadows, and I don't know who else is in this Fulton County thing that was a federal employee at the time. I don't know, but I know those two. So, so that's good news. That's good news. All right, well, let's take some calls. Our number 1-888-GILL-KANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara from Hawaii.
Oh, Barbara, I've been waiting to hear from you because you call us semi-regularly, and since the fires in Maui, we've not heard from you. Are you okay?
I know. I thank you so much for worrying for me, but I am on Oahu. I'm not on Maui.
Oh, thank the Lord, because I hadn't heard from you, and I was worried that maybe the fires got to your home, but you're not on Maui.
No, I'm not on Maui.
Great, that's good news.
Yeah, we were lucky here. The hurricane that passed us in the south did not even get rain to Oahu, and obviously not to Maui, just wind, lots of wind.
Well, I imagine that Hawaii, Hawaii, of course, is considered a paradise, but it must be even more of a paradise today because Joe Biden and his mob wife, Jill, came by yesterday, and everything's fine in Hawaii now, right?
I don't think so. It is just, at least he made it down here.
Oh, please.
But it looked at very, very critical because it just came too late.
Yeah, listen, I've been hearing some terrible things. Of course, Hawaii is a Democrat-run state. We have fires in Florida very regularly. The Florida Everglades burn all the time. But this is a Republican state, and we know how to take care of things. But you got too many liberals running Hawaii, and I don't think Democrats and Democrat states know how to take care of themselves when disaster strikes. They wait for the government, and that's the worst thing you can do.
Yes, it is. But Hawaii is used to deal with hurricanes, right?
Yeah.
Not fire.
Mm-hmm.
Small fires, yeah, and they had it under control.
Yeah, well, now they do. They've run out of things to burn. Well, listen, Barbara from Hawaii, it's good to hear. We were worried about you.
Well, thank you. My best to Kathy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, we had not heard from Barbara like in 2 weeks, and I didn't know what part of Hawaii she was in, but she's in Oahu, not Maui. Okay. All right, our number 1-888-GILL-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Craig.
All right, and it's time to check in with your attorney, Steve. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
We're great. What do you have for us today, Barry?
Well, as you know, we do, in our law firm, we do estate planning, all levels, trust wills, powers of attorney, healthcare documents. We do probate and trust administration, and we do elder law. And elder law really can be the solution to one of the biggest problems that people have. As they're aging and the possible need for care, for whether it's for yourself, your spouse, for your parents, that cost of care is very, very expensive. And then the issue is, well, how are we going to pay for it? If you have long-term care, great, but that could run out. Most people don't have long-term care insurance, so then what are your options? Spend down the money that you've worked for your entire life, that you've saved for, that you've sacrificed for, and that you want to leave to your family if there's anything left. But instead, you have to give it all to the nursing home or the assisted living or the home health care agency because it costs a lot of money to pay to have someone come to your home or to be in one of these facilities. So the solution for many people is to get on government benefits. But here's the biggest problem, Brian, is that people think and jump to the conclusion that they have too much income, too much assets. Oh, that government benefit, Medicaid, is not for me because I cannot afford it. I'm sorry, because I cannot get it. I have too much income, too much assets, and they jump to that conclusion. So what do? They do nothing. They don't look into it. They don't do anything. And then what happens? They spend down their assets, and they potentially can go broke. When there's a solution out there, you just have to look into it and find out about it, and that's what we do. We give people the information so that we can determine if that's going to be a solution that can help them protect their assets.
And remember, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. When you mentioned you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, and Attorney Barry Siegel has an entire team of experts that do just this Medicaid planning. Don't ask your friends. They don't know what they're talking about, okay? And I bet you, Barry, that you have these terrible stories of people who have been told they have to spend down all their assets before they qualify. They come to you and they've lost everything, their home and everything, and because they thought they had to do that, and now they're trying to do this Medicaid planning. That's not necessarily the case. Go take advantage of the no-charge consultation at the Siegel Law Group, and I know a lot of you adult children, you can do this for your parents as well. Okay, I'm in a situation in my family where I'm about to do that myself with Barry. Give the Siegel Law Group a call. It's a toll-free number, 1-855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right, thank you, Brian.
All right, back after this.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we are back, and I just want to talk again about Brighton Dental and Dr. Gupta, who's your family dentist, Steve. And you know, we have a new recorded commercial that I made out of a call-in that Richie the bus driver made. He drives over 130 miles to see Dr. Gupta. Over 130 miles to see Dr. Gupta. And there's two reasons why. One, he's a top dentist. Top, highly skilled dentist. He does every type of dental work you can do. And he does it at incredible prices. I know, you know, most people when they're talking about dentistry talk about painless dentistry and, you know, and it's painless and they give you, all the dentists do that. I think the biggest pain people avoid dentistry for is not the physical pain from the dental work, but it's the pain of the price. And I've, you know, maybe that's just me, Steve, but I think that's most people. And not only is Dr. Gupta a top dentist who's incredibly skilled, his prices are like out of the 80s and 90s. His prices are real low. Mm-hmm.
When I was generation.
Yeah.
Makes you feel relaxed. I am an extremely horrible dental patient, I will tell you that. And I really appreciate having somebody like Dr.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Uh-huh. Yeah. And, you know, he does every type of dental work there is, from kids all the way up to elderly people. You know, Richie, he recently got dentures from Dr. Gupta, and Richie priced them around. And Dr. Gupta had the lowest prices on dentures that Richie could find anywhere. That's why he drives 130-some miles, because he's so good at what he does, and his prices are spectacular. Listen, give Dr. Gupta a call. His number, 954-922-4633. And he's a longtime listener of the program. He's listened to the Steve Kane Show longer than I've been a part of it, okay? So when you go and see Dr. Gupta, he's a family dentist, but you'll feel like he's a member of your family. You'll have a bond because you'll connect, just because you know this cast of weirdos that call Steve and I on the air and all this stuff, and you'll connect with them that way too. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. 33 for Dr. Gupta. Okay, now this part's probably going to make you upset, Steve, but I'm not going to watch the Fox News debate on Wednesday night on Fox, and I'm encouraging others to do the same. I know you'll watch it, but what I'm going to do, because Fox just went over the line with me this morning, and I'm just totally ticked at them. I'm going to get up extra early Thursday morning. Thursday's a big day. Because President Trump's going to surrender himself in Black Panther, Fulton County, Georgia. But I'm going to get up extra early, earlier than I normally do, on Thursday morning and watch the debate online on another platform that's not connected to Fox News. Fox News needs to have the ratings failure of history so far as presidential debates go. They said last night, Fox News said that no Trump defenders or surrogates will be permitted in the post-debate to defend Trump. So no, they talk about the surrogates, and Don Jr. was on the list of Trump surrogates who was going to attend, as was Kim Guilfoyle, the great Marjorie Taylor Greene, and some others. And they're not going to be allowed to respond to anything that's said about Trump since he's not going to go to the debate. So I think that this debate on Fox News needs to be a ratings disaster for these jerks. And I hope you guys out there, well, yeah, and I hope you guys out there do what I do. Don't watch it. You know, first off, even it's going to be the most boring debate in the history of debates. How can you have, how can you have a television event without the star? You know, I remember my wife and I, we go to concerts sometimes, and we went and saw Duran Duran. Was big. They were big when my wife and I were in high school and middle school. And I was a little nervous because Duran Duran had done a world tour the year before, and they didn't play any of their songs that people knew. They only played new songs from their new album that no one cared about. And the tickets were expensive, and I'm like, if they don't play their old stuff, I'm going to be really ticked. And they played all their hit songs. If you go to a show and the star is not there, or the band are playing their new songs and not their hits, you want nothing to do with it. It's boring. This is going to be the most uneventful, boring debate in the history of presidential debates because the star of the show, Donald Trump, is not going to be there, okay? And what they're going to do is talk about him a lot, because you can't make things interesting out of these grifters and wannabes that are going to be there. None of them are interesting. So, they're gonna be talking about Trump, and they're going to be trashing Trump, and they're going to be making claims, especially with the arrest on Thursday. And Fox News has decided that Trump surrogates aren't going to be allowed to respond to what people are saying. So it's going to be a one-sided Trump hate fest, and I think we got to send a message to Fox that we're not going to take it. And the only way you can do that is not to watch them. And if you don't watch them, and Martha McCallum and Brett Baer wake up tomorrow, the day after, Thursday, and they have the lowest ratings in the history of a presidential debate, that'll send a message to Fox. And another thing they did, Steve, Rupert Murdoch, this was reported yesterday, went to Glenn Youngkin, the governor of Virginia, trying to get Youngkin to run against Trump in the Republican primary. They're dropping DeSantis. They're not going to use Ramaswamy. So I've never in my life heard of a news company approaching candidates to run for president before, like Fox is doing. Have you ever heard of that? I'm not saying that there's been candidates that media have liked, but I've never heard of the media openly going out and recruiting a presidential candidate like the Murdochs are doing right now. They did it with DeSantis. He's a loser, so now they're going. Have you ever heard of anything like that, Steve? I'm not going to watch it on Fox. I'm going to watch it the next morning somewhere else. I'm going to get up early and watch it online. Yeah, because they won't get the ratings. Why? What's the difference if I watch it on Fox or somewhere else? What difference does it make where I watch it to you? No, it doesn't. Believe me, I'll be informed and know what's going on, Steve. You don't have to worry about me not being informed. But Fox has to be sent a message. The way that they're treating us, And when Donald Trump says they're not doing this to me, they're doing it to you, that's exactly right. They're doing it to us. And you can see that debate on Twitter, you can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it on some website like Breitbart or something without giving Fox News the TV ratings on Wednesday night. There's many other ways to watch it, and that's the way to do it. There's going to be other people that carry it live on different platforms other than Fox. I know of some people, and I'll watch it there maybe live, but I'm not going to watch it on Fox. It doesn't mean I won't see the debate. I just won't see it there. Steve, what Fox is doing, okay, by not allowing Trump defenders to defend Trump after the debate, even though the whole debate's going to be about him, okay, is they're a part of Fani Willis, they're a part of Merrick Garland, and this whole operation of these 4 illegal prosecutions against Trump. They're working in collusion with them. They don't like Trump, so they want him in jail. They want to cancel him. They want him disappeared. Now, I'm going to throw this out to you guys in the audience. What are you going to do for the debate? It's tomorrow night on Fox. Will you watch it on Fox, or will you find another place to watch it like I'm going to do to send Fox a message that we're not going to take this anymore from them? Our number's toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. And I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know why that would bother you, Steve. Why do you care if I watch it somewhere else? I can tell by your reaction. You seem put off by it. Well, that's a reaction. And your non-reaction is a reaction. You seem annoyed at me for saying I'm not going to watch it on Fox. I don't know why it would matter where I watch it to you. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with some calls. There's a few other things to touch on we have not gotten into yet. And your calls at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. Pretty great weather for South Florida considering the time of the year. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s and will actually be a little drier with just a slight chance of an isolated storm. We have more Saharan dust in the area, so about 92, but not too bad with an east wind at about 10 miles an hour. And the WPDF 25, first morning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
95 delays heading southbound between Boynton Beach Boulevard and Lake Worth Road are subsiding. We're still seeing the usual buildups on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca. But we're in pretty good shape on the turnpike and probably your best route this morning. Lake Worth, we still have a multi-vehicle crash on Lantana Road at South Congress Avenue. Further southbound into Broward County, a multi-vehicle crash has a left lane blocked 441 southbound before Griffin Road. This report is sponsored by Blindsir.com. At Blindsir.com, they offer 50 different custom window treatments, including full wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, they'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindsir.com. That's traffic on Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is the county's only OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks, and this weekend, bet on huge races including Saratoga's Travers Stakes, the Charlestown Classic, and more. Visit the Paddock Restaurant with over 180 new HD TVs and big screens, plus exceptional dining and drinks. The Paddock is also your best bet for comedy, music, and dinner shows. For our full schedule lineup, go to bbkennelclub.com.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours at the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I do any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. Any lab test now with Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7 or 41. Any lab test now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now at Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now at Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Are you dreaming of cool ocean breezes to beat this summer heat? Well, climb aboard Margaritaville at Sea, the only cruise line offering 3-day, 2-night getaways from Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to a spacious ocean view cabin, starting at just $99 per person.
Exactly.
Cruises now through April 2024.
You don't have to watch it on Fox. Other people will be streaming the debate on other platforms to watch. That's what I'm going to do.
Aboard the newly refreshed Margaritaville at Sea. Book now and claim your free ocean view upgrade at margaritavilleatsea.com.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs from
He doesn't have to debate anybody. We know what he thinks. What's going to come out in the debate that you don't already know about Trump? Debates are a waste of time. In this run, they are. In his first run, you know, people didn't really know him as well. We'll be back right after this.
Special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Corey Hennessy, DC and Healthcare. Dr. Hennessy, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms of neuropathy are numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in the hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is treatable, and we've seen some great results.
Call 954-633-7003 today to schedule your nerve damage screening. This screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe that there's nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy.
Oh, yeah.
Confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations.
Brian Kim's a joke.
633-7003. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Space is limited. Call 954-633-7003.
Here we go.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve here. You with us, Steve? All right, let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jeff. I'm calling from Boca.
Yes, Jeff.
Yeah, I think it really seems like Fox has finally come to the conclusion that supporting failed President Trump con man is a losing proposition.
Oh, slow down. Hold on. I must have misunderstood you. Did you call President Trump a con man, like a grifter?
Oh yeah, you don't think so? He's only been president to line his pockets.
Can you tell me a con that he pulled while he was president?
First of all, his golf courses that he brought millions of dollars worth of security detail to stay miles and miles away from where he was supposed to be, just so he can stay in.
You mean like Joe Biden staying at this millionaire's house in Hawaii and California? You mean?
making money from it?
Yeah, yes. In fact, Joe Biden, when he was vice president and still does this today, charges the Secret Service rent to protect him at his homes. That, yes, since you asked.
Yeah. Now
you don't know what to say, do you? So give me an example of a con that he pulled while president, since we gave you some information there that you're having a hard time digesting.
This week? I don't know about this week.
No, not this week. When he was president in his first term, give me a con that Donald Trump pulled. You called him a con man.
Yeah. Okay. How about
He's thinking.
That he duked out of his supporters to pay for his legal bills that he said was.
Well, find me a support. Find me. Look at how he's struggling. I mean, my goodness. You know, Joe Biden's a con man. He took bribes from China. He took bribes from Burisma at Ukraine. You know, we can give specifics without having the grass for troll. Find me a Trump supporter who's upset that he used money they donated to him for this legal persecution by the Democrats, and then you got an argument. But the only people I hear complaining about him using monies raised for the legal bills are Democrats like you.
That's your money anyway, so what are you complaining about?
I'm not complaining about anything. I'm saying that bosses are finally come to the realization.
Now he's repeating what he started with, Steve. This guy's so out of it. Why do you really dislike Trump? You never liked him. Why did you not vote for him in 2016 or 2020?
You know, I almost did vote for him.
You almost did, but you didn't. Why did you not vote for him in 2016 and 2020?
I'm about to tell you. Because I could not vote for Hillary.
No. You said you did not vote for Trump, right? So why did you not? I didn't ask you about Hillary. Why did you not vote for Trump?
Because I could see through the emperor's clothes that he was naked and he was...
Okay. All right. Okay. In 2016, when you did not vote for Trump, what specifically, not the emperor's clothes and all this, poetic things you're using to fill up time, give a specific reason, not a vague generality or poetry or Shakespeare.
No clothes.
Yeah.
This is one of the sexual.
Oh, he's gay? You're gay?
Okay, all right. I see how
or either that or small.
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, then tell us. Why did you really not vote for him in 2016?
We can help you out. We have a sponsor that deals with that sort of thing.
Yes.
And I in New York and how he cheated all his contractors, didn't pay his workers.
Steve, the dump button are for callers. You started to. Okay, first off, that talking point you're using is not New York, it's for Jersey, okay? So you don't have any, all you have are liberal talking points. All you have are liberal talking points.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you're not going to turn this around. Listen, I'm curious as to what kind of man is a Democrat. What makes you a Democrat?
I am a centrist. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican.
I know. That's what all the liberals say. Why do you vote Democrat? What kind of man votes Democrat? I'm curious.
Because the Republicans are liars, cheaters, and stealers.
Uh-huh.
Not like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden
stuffs
millions of dollars in his pocket.
And charges the Secret Service rent to protect him.
Yeah.
Come on, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed supporting him?
What about that cocaine found in the Biden Situation Room? What are your thoughts on that?
I never heard about that.
Never heard about that. What about the bribes what about, oh, well, he's a liberal. Nah, this is just his way of getting out of defending it. What about the $10 million bribe he took from Ukraine that Comer's committee found the bank accounts for?
What about the phone call to Ukraine?
Well, we're not talking about the phone call to Ukraine. We're talking about the $10 million bribe, which you obviously know about, that he took from Burisma.
To who?
From Burisma to Biden? You don't know about that either. Biden who? Steve, this is the most pathetic liberal we've ever talked to. 46 years this show's been on the air, and you're the most pathetic liberal to ever call this show, pretending to be uninformed and stupid. Let's admit it, okay? You're a liberal Democrat. You don't like strong men. You have some feminine tendencies inside of you. Yeah, exactly.
And I like...
It's your candidate's going to get wiped out.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
We'll see.
I'm glad it's
And then when Trump finally goes to jail for his crimes, his real crimes.
What crime would that be? What crime should he go? What crime should he go? Excuse me. What crime should he go to? What crime should Trump go to prison for? Specific.
Trying to overturn an election and inciting riots.
He didn't. What riot? He didn't incite. Or excuse me. What riot did he? What riot did Donald Trump incite?
Okay, you guys are blind. Stick your head.
No. Tell us what riot? What riot is he responsible for? He's ready to hang up. He wants us to.
Defecating in somebody's desk inside the Capitol.
President Trump defecated in someone's desk? Who's? Okay, we're talking about Trump. You said, I asked you what crime did he commit? You said he defecated in someone's desk?
Insurrection on the Capitol building.
Insurrection? He...
It was just a normal everyday...
No, I'm not going to say that. It was not normal every day. But I'll tell you this. President Trump didn't tell him to do it. He said, peacefully demonstrate. Peacefully demonstrate. Not break windows and climb through doorways. He said peacefully demonstrate. Remember that part?
That's right. That was BLM that did that.
No, a lot of them were MAGA people. There were MAGA people that went in. But he's not responsible for everything a MAGA... Are you responsible for everything a Democrat does? Alec Baldwin shot a woman dead. Are you responsible for that? He's a Democrat. You're a Democrat.
Why would I be responsible?
Well, you say that Donald Trump is responsible for whatever MAGA people do, so obviously you must be responsible for whatever a Democrat does.
Yeah, be there, and it's going to be wild, and we got to be taking back our country from what? Make America great again. When was it not? When was it great? When was it great that he wants to go back to?
What was wrong in the 50s and 60s? What was wrong with the 50s and 60s?
Civil rights. Right? You want to go back to...
Well, the civil rights that were passed by Republicans that you Democrats were trying to deny to blacks?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're a Democrat in Boca. You know, Boca was around in the 50s. And like today, it was run by Democrats. Do you know that black people were not allowed at Boca Beach on Palmetto and A1A during the Democrat Jim Crow era? Did you know that?
Yeah, and they had their own beach. And
that was fine. Blacks had their own beach. Yeah, they had their own beach. They had their own drinking fountains, too.
This is what I'm saying.
He's defending segregation. Steve, this is honest. I've never heard of...
Go to one side of the world and everybody...
Well, that's what the Democrats were doing in the 50s and 60s. Yes. You're supporting segregation.
Okay.
Are you really?
Oh, boy.
All right, you know who came up with Make America Great Again?
Ronald Reagan.
Exactly.
So what does that mean?
So
Did you vote for Ronald Reagan, sir?
I didn't
Now
vote
he's
back
thinking,
then.
should I lie or should I tell the truth? Tell the truth.
I didn't vote back then. I didn't vote. I wasn't even a voter.
He was a kid, Steve.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? So Ronald Reagan said, "Make America Great Again." So what does that mean?
Because he takes it as his own and he pretends he came up with that slogan.
No, in fact, Donald Trump has said that Ronald Reagan said it, but President Reagan didn't use it as a slogan. What?
He had a button with that slogan on it.
He had a button with that slogan. Yeah.
Purpose.
Yes. And is that a bad thing? Is that a bad for America to be great? Is that a bad thing?
This guy sure doesn't like
No, we're not saying America. America is great in my eyes.
Excuse me. We've got a president who has cocaine in the White House, takes bribes, sniffs women's hair, has been accused of sexually assaulting and raping a woman in the halls of the Senate. Maui burns and he doesn't do a darn thing about it. I would say that America's not too great right now. Gas prices in Boca are $4 a gallon for regular.
Trump has been caught with methamphetamine.
Really? I missed that. Where can I look up this story? I will read it on the air right now that Trump was caught with methamphetamines.
Telling me that you heard it on Fox News.
Yeah.
The Fox News, so you got it.
Yeah. Where can I find that story, caller?
Look it up. I don't know.
You don't know? Well, you said it. You said that Trump was found with methamphetamines, and you can't cite your source?
Pictures of the pills in his drawer.
You're talking about, I think, you know what he's got him confused with, Steve? Andrew Gillum, that Democrat that was with the male hooker with the methamphetamines in Miami Beach. That's Andrew Gillum, not Trump. That's one of your people.
Democrats are angels because there's no way. All politicians are crooks in my eyes.
Oh.
Just blatant about it.
Yeah. How long you been married?
Since 91.
91. I wonder what your position is on a few different issues, and I'm just going to ask you one real quick. You know, President Trump accomplished a lot of things. We're up against a break, so you're going to be relieved in a minute. How do you feel about how do you feel about President Trump overturning Roe v. Wade?
I think that's horrible.
What's horrible about it? There have been 150,000 children born since it was overturned. What is wrong with 150,000 babies being born that would have been terminated?
That number is way out of proportion.
Oh, what's the real number? What's the real number?
I don't know the real number, but you're just pulling numbers out of some.
No, I'm not. Well, if it's only one, isn't that a good? Are the children better off being born or aborted?
Oh, okay. The 10-year-old girl that was raped. Yeah, she should carry that to term, right?
No, she's better about killing it.
She had an abortion.
Yes. So the 10-year-old that was raped, you feel she should carry that baby to term? A 10-year-old girl.
Well, it's not the baby's fault that it was conceived out of a rape. Perhaps the mother that allowed a man to have sex with her child should be put in jail. But we're not talking about the rape. There have been tens of thousands of babies born that would not have been born if Trump did not overturn Roe v. Wade. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You said even one, so I mentioned one. So,
no, that baby wasn't born. That baby was aborted. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that there are babies that are alive today that would have been aborted if Trump had not overturned Roe v. Wade? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not an abortion advocate, but
you sure sound like one. Hey, listen, Mengele, I appreciate the call. We'll be right back.
Cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, welcome back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, good morning. Sir.
Great.
Awesome.
Gold trading yesterday in a range of $1,884 to $1,900 the ounce and closing at $1,894.50, up $5 on the day. Silver was up 54 cents yesterday, closing at $23.30. Platinum lost $2 at $911, and palladium was down $13 at $12.15. This morning, we see gold trading in a range from $1,893 all the way up to over $1,900 again, $1,905 on the high so far this morning. Right now, we're at $1,898. That's up $3.50. Silver's up another 10 cents at $23.40 the ounce. Platinum gaining $14 at $925, and palladium up $37 at $12.52. So metals pushing towards that through that $1,900 number again.
Yeah, you know, yesterday you brought up something you'd not mentioned during the report ever, and people are contacting me off the air. People contact William Youngerman when you have any questions about the metals. I don't know the answers. William does. But they were talking to me about the monster boxes. People really interested in them. We were talking about monster boxes with the Silver Eagles yesterday. But I was talking with Steve in the afternoon, and we were talking about 90% silver. And I love 90% silver. Can you tell people a little bit about that? Because that's a good buy right now too, isn't it?
Yes, these are United States coins minted in 1964 and earlier, quarters and half dollars, when we were when more of our money was pegged to silver, and the price of silver then rose above what the value of the coins were, and so it became very popular to hoard or buy silver in the old coinage of the United States, and so you can buy that, and it trades at multiple times the face value, and it's very easy to calculate. And if you call us, we'll be glad to type.
Yeah, and Stephen, I was telling you about it. You know, you can get half dollars, quarters, dimes. It's a wonderful thing. And a lot of you have silver at home and you don't even know it in these 90% silver coins. And the reason they stopped using silver in the coins is because silver started to become more valuable than the coins, and so they got out of doing that. But and what forms do you offer it in? Do you sell it in rolls? Do you sell it in bags, William Youngerman, the 90% silver?
Yeah, it comes usually in bags of $500 face value, and we sell it in any amount you want, actually.
Yeah.
You can buy as little as you want, so it's an easy way to buy a small amount of silver.
Absolutely. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m., and you guys that send DM me and email me questions, feel free to call William Youngerman and his crew over there at his store. They're happy to talk to you on the phone and answer your questions at 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online at williamyoungerman.com, or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. You know, Steve, that last caller, you know, you're in a bad political party when you can't even say that babies being born is a good thing, right? I mean, I was surprised. I thought he would fake it, but he couldn't do it. All right, let's go. Let's see here. I've lost track of who called in first, second, 33rd. I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yes, you're on the air. Speak up.
Yes, your last call, I agree with you. You know what, when you were saying...
Hold on, can you do me a favor? Get off the speakerphone, because I want to hear all your liberal nonsense clearly in a stereophonic sound, and there's an echo because you're in a it sounds like you're in the bathroom, but if you could get off the speakerphone, even in the bathroom, we'll be able to hear you better.
Okay, is that better?
No, not really, but go ahead.
Okay, when Trump says, let's make America great again, you know what he's talking about? He's talking about slavery. He's talking about back in the days of the 50s, because America has never been great. Now, it's been great to the white people, but it's never been great to the blacks.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he said, let's make America great again. He's talking about separation between whites and blacks, because that's what he was talking about.
Okay. Now, okay. Well, I'm glad you called in, because I want to point something out to you. But first, before I point something out to you, just because you are a failure and things aren't good in your life doesn't mean that other black people aren't doing well and have a good life. Okay. Now, let's be a little more specific about what's going on. On Thursday, President Trump is going to be arrested. I'm sure you're excited. Okay. He's going to be arrested by a black... He's going to be arrested by a black woman and a black man, the prosecutor and the sheriff, both black. In D.C., it's not racist. I'm building up to something to ask you a question. It's not racist. In D.C., he is being judged by a liberal black judge. In New York, he was arrested and charged by a black man and a black woman, the Attorney General of New York and the district attorney in New York. Okay, so in 3 of the 4 cases, everyone involved bringing charges against a white president are African American. Would you admit that blacks are now in power and maybe have more power than whites since these blacks are bringing charges and arresting a white president?
Oh, because they're arresting Trump is why you figured it.
Well, no, he's a white president. He's being arrested all over the country by black people.
People that have been arrested and had to go to court. But that's not an issue with you. It's because they...
Well, what I'm telling you is if black people are disenfranchised, how are so many black people in different states able to arrest a white billionaire president?
So what is this white thing and black thing?
Well, you say this country has never been good. You believe this is a racist country, never been good for blacks, and I'm telling you that this country is being run by black people if you look at these arrests.
If you committed the crime, you got to pay for it. Now,
No. If this country, if blacks were disenfranchised, as you want to believe, they wouldn't be able to arrest a white president.
The Fourth Amendment, Section 3, says that anyone, whether they're in government, whether they're the president, vice president, it doesn't matter who they are, if they excite a resurrection.
A resurrection? You mean like Jesus after he died on the cross? You mean a Are you know, this echo, are you calling us from a bathroom or a jail cell? What is this echo we got going on?
Well, the echo is irrelevant. My point is that because he started the whole thing, he told them to go.
See, this is another liberal that's just not capable of logical thinking. What I'm telling you is this is not a racist country, at least not white on black, that you don't want to accept the fact that blacks are empowered today, so much so that blacks in Georgia, D.C., and New York are able to arrest and charge a white president.
Man can't have power because he's black. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's what you want us to believe. That's what you want us to believe.
You're saying that a black man ain't supposed to have power.
That's not what I said. No, you're not going to listen. I'm not some liberal white guy who's going to drop down on my knee and beg for the forgiveness of our Lord and Savior George Floyd because you call me a racist, okay? Because I'm not. What I'm telling you is that blacks are more empowered than you want to realize because you can see it with what's going on with President Trump.
Pretty sure they went to school. I'm pretty sure they deserve the power that they have. But my point is, it's just because he committed a crime is that he's in this situation. You understand what I'm saying?
I missed something here. What crime is...
He said, Steve, Donald Trump committed a resurrection. He said it earlier. He said he incited a resurrection.
Resurrection? He committed a crime.
What crime is that? What crime is that? What crime is that?
My understanding is...
Hold
on. My understanding is you go to jail when you're convicted. That's when you're guilty. How come you convicted him without a trial?
Yeah, that's a lynching you're doing.
No, that's what he's going to jail for. He's got to have a trial. That's what I'm saying. That's what...
He's...
See, now is he? You're making that up.
No, I'm not making it up. He did do it. I heard it with my own ears.
That's why they have a trial to figure that out.
It was on national television, man. You don't watch TV?
Well, listen, unlike you, we've got things to do and places to see. We can't sit in front of the TV in our bathroom like you all day.
Stand in front of the whole world and tell Joe, whatever his name is, that I need 11,000 votes.
Yeah. Did he say go out and give me 11,000 fraudulent votes? Did he say go out and forge 11,000? No, he did not. He did not say that. No. Fine. If he would have said go out and forge 11,000 fake votes for me, then you would have a case. But I'll tell you what, no matter what Trump did or didn't do, you'll still be in your bathroom on a speakerphone, okay? I know. Take care. Thanks for the call. We have a full board of calls, but we're out of time for today. If you hold on, there's one opening on the board where I let that guy go. If you hold on, you'll be first in line tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve, of course, has been here. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God bless America, and God bless the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. See you tomorrow.
WWNN Pompano Beach. W. Meyer.
No, I'm not kidding. The board's full of calls. All right, guys. See you soon.